Hey, Simu, what's good, my man?
What's going on?
You just came in like a boss. I like that.
I like the slow pan. Yeah, we definitely did
Yeah,
not plan that, but that's just how it
you,
turned out.
you gave me more of a Thanos than you did a Shang-Chi right there.
Hey, I'll do it myself. That's the catchphrase. That's the motto.
Awesome. Well, listen, Simu, first and foremost, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I've been following you on your socials, and I can't imagine how drained you are right now. Like, I know you don't have any real superpowers, but the superpower of endurance is something else.
Yeah, I think I might be developing a superpower of being able to function on no sleep. But look, it's been the ride of a lifetime, man. I was at Yonge and Dundas Square yesterday, and I saw like a Godzilla-sized version of me on a billboard, which honestly was terrifying. And I was like, my head, which is already big as it is, was like the size of a house. I mean, it's crazy. This has been just like the most incredible homecoming. I'm so glad that the press tour is here in Toronto, in my home city. Right at the premiere of the movie. I wouldn't have done it with any other crowd. I'm so excited to be here.
So let's start right there. You had a premiere in London, you had a premiere in LA. By the way, your fit game has been 100 during this. I loved your karate gi incorporated with the suit in London. That was so sick. But you got to do your premiere last night in Toronto. How special, surreal was that to do that in front of your peers?
Oh man, it was so great. I mean, I got to invite a few people, so like just so many people from the friends that I love and talk to every day to like my old college roommate who, sometimes we lose touch. We don't get to speak to as often as we want, but I was able to reach out and say, "Hey buddy, want to come to my movie premiere?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think I could make some time." And then, my parents, their friends, I mean, just being able to debut the movie with them and experience it through their eyes is just incredible, man.
That's quite the flex to be like, hey, like I got a movie this weekend. If you want to come, hang out
Yeah,
with
if
me,
you
check
wouldn't
it out.
mind, like, could you make some time for me in your schedule for the premiere of a Marvel movie that I'm the lead in? I don't, if you have time.
So the last 2 years, you've spent a lot of time away from home, right? Between Australia, California, as we mentioned. You also spent some time in the Dominican Republic on projects and promoting this movie and everything.
Yeah.
People want to know, what have you missed about this city? And then I specifically, through this audience, I think people want to know what food and drinks you've missed, because I know you've got a couple of vices.
Oh, do I? No, I miss the one restaurant I find myself talking about to everybody that hasn't been to Toronto before is Fishman Lobster Clubhouse, which I know Blog TV has done coverage on. It is just an incredible restaurant where the lobster is served, first of all, just slathered in sauces and like piled up like feet in the air. It's just it's a lobster like marathon. And I always tell people they gotta go try it. So that's one. I love pie. I love patois. I love sabai sabai. I mean, I'm big into Asian food, and man, Toronto's got some of the best of it.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't say the boba tea here, because I know you like to put together $125 boba teas.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know we were talking about drinks too. Hey, look,
Oh
I could
yeah.
go on about boba tea for forever, man. The alley, gong cha time. I mean, dude, I like it all.
That's great. All right, so I'm going to conduct this interview a little differently. I'm going to pull up a couple of photos to jog your memory, so bear with me. The first one is the most obvious one. It is your TV family. Oh, upside down, Kim's Convenience. The people want to know, have you been keeping in touch with them? And then more specifically, I'd like to know is, how did the experience on Kim's Convenience prepare you for this new chapter in your life?
Well, I absolutely do keep in touch with them still. Paul, Sun Hyung Lee, who plays Appa, was at the premiere yesterday. He, brought his family. We had such a wonderful moment together because we're such geeks in our lives. Like we love all things Marvel, all things Star Wars, and just the fact that we are represented in both of those universes now is just, I mean, it's unbelievably amazing. So that was, I will say, I'm super, super close with all of them still. And then as for how that role prepared me for the Shang-Chi role, I mean, if you really think about it, Jung and Sean really aren't all that different in the beginning of the movie. Sean is, your millennial kid. he's kind of like lost and directionless in life. He has a job that involves the parking and the moving of cars.
I never even put that one together. That's good.
You know, he's got a best friend that's really funny, and you know, he plays off of, and they have this, you know, a kind of amazing back and forth banter with. He's got a complicated relationship to his father. He's got a younger sister. I mean, I could go on and on. Where it starts to kind of deviate is when we start to delve into the realm of the 10 rings and what all that means. And I don't want to give too much away because you guys got to go and see it for yourselves. But it gets to some pretty crazy places.
So you're basically telling me that Zhang is a variant of Shang-Chi, right? Like, is that what you're implying?
Yeah, I think with the multiverse theory, I mean, there is a world out there where Sean is working at a car rental agency.
Definitely. There's definitely some parallels there. All right, my second image, and I love that you brought up Paul, your television uppa, is you on the Men's Health cover with your shirt off. So I had the privilege 2 years ago of talking to Paul on this very same platform, and I asked him to share a fun fact about all of you, maybe an embarrassing story. And he said about you, he said that Simu loves to not wear his shirt. And there's a couple of moments in this movie where you're not wearing your shirt. So I want to know if there's any truth to this, or was it all purely coincidental?
Look, let me say this, all right? We had a lot of costume changes on the show. Sometimes to save time, not because I was, you know, not because I love taking my shirt off. Sometimes I would take off my shirt on set and then have the new one put on so that I, you know, is in the interest of time. And if I was showing my, you know, fitness regime to the world, that was also, you know, that was just like a side benefit. That wasn't like the main reason. So I will say 50% true. But we did have a couple of shirtless scenes for the movie. I did sacrifice greatly for them. I did have to say no to the boba tea for a while, which was pretty hard. But you know, that's just the craft that we all just work so hard for and sacrifice for. So you know,
Simu, you are a class act, and we appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you very much. All right, my next one is you at the Ultimate Nerd Fest. All right, this is when your dreams became a reality. It was unveiled that you would be the latest action superhero in the Marvel universe. When you look at this photo from Comic-Con, what comes to mind? What kind of feelings go through your head?
Yeah, I still remember very clearly the feeling of being on that stage. Just total confusion. I mean, I was this guy who literally had just not shot a single second of Marvel footage or any footage in Hollywood to be exact. And then I was being kind of paraded on stage with like David Harbour, who I respect so greatly and who I love. You know, Angelina Jolie, Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie. I mean, literally like some of the most famous people on earth. And then me in my $20 skinny jeans, you know, like I didn't have a glam squad. I didn't have a publicist following me around. I was just like there by myself. So it was definitely a trip, and it felt like I was the new kid at school. And I'll never forget that dinner. There was a dinner afterwards, after we had the presentation, that Kevin Feige organized for everyone. And I remember showing up with my manager and sitting at a table completely empty, because everyone had just gone and sat at their groups. You know, you had the Black Widow group and you had the Thor group, and everyone had like these little cliques. And then there was me and my manager at a totally empty. So we were just like, all right, I guess we're just gonna do this. In walks Angelina Jolie. All right, and she's got like 5-6 people with her. She's got children. She's got a team. And she looks over and she's like, there's no empty seats. So she looks over at my table and she's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll sit there. So she's walking towards me and I'm looking at my manager like, is Angelina Jolie freaking walking towards me right now and about to sit down and have dinner with me? And he's like, yeah, I think so. Just be cool, man. And so she sits down, she introduces herself. She's lovely. We're just in shock the whole time. We're like beyond starstruck. So, you know, trying to make conversation with her, trying to be like, so what do you like? What do you do with your time? What do you like? What do you drink? What are your hobby? I don't know. And she's like, she's like, well, I love my kids. Obviously, I like keeping up with their lives. I love playing video games. And I was like, I play video games. I do that. And she was like, "Oh, like what video games do you play? Because my kids play these ones called da da da, like League of Legends." And I was like, "Oh, I know what that is."
Yeah,
And she was
I
like,
think
"Okay."
I was gonna
Sorry?
say you reacted like any normal human being would react around Angelina Jolie. It's nothing to be ashamed
Relatable,
about.
right? Like, I feel like I was the world meeting Angelina Jolie in that moment, and she was like, "Well, I never really understood that game. Like, can you describe it to me?" So that was my claim to fame for that whole night, was trying to describe League of Legends to Angelina Jolie, even though I barely play it. But yeah, it's fun
That's
times.
a story for the grandkids one day, definitely. All right. My last image, okay? This is a little BTS, you with the director and some of the cast, and I mean not the
Mhm.
cast, but the crew specifically. Now, this movie has gone through the ringer, right? You guys started filming in early of 2020, gets delayed because of the pandemic. You start filming again later in the year. You're traveling between California, Australia, there's quarantining happening. Besides the excitement of the movie, can you talk about how proud you are of the cast and crew for finally making this happen? I mean, this movie was supposed to premiere in, what was it? I think it was May, then July, and now you've got the Labor Day weekend to show this to the masses.
Yeah, and originally, before all of the pandemic stuff happened, it was supposed to be February. So, I mean, yeah, we shut down after pretty much a month and a half of shooting, and when we came back in July, obviously we did so just so carefully. We really emphasized kind of on-set protocols, distancing, multiple tests per week, and a Marvel production is no small deal. It's not an indie. Our crew was something like 900, and for our entire crew to get through our run of show without a single positive test was just nothing short of amazing. And I want to say miraculous, but I'm not going to, because miracles kind of make you feel like it was lucky, but really it was the hard work and the personal sacrifices made by the crew. They chose not to go out and expose themselves. They chose not to, to give up some of their comforts, right? Obviously putting on a mask is uncomfortable, but it's something that we all have to do. And, we all have to do our part to make sure that the disease doesn't spread more. And so, yeah, I mean, it's big ups to them. We really functioned as a team, and that's a big reason why we were able to do, shots like that one, which, by the way, was just an incredible sequence. That bus sequence, we're really, really proud of it.
And the crazy thing about that, that's like the first thing that happens in the movie. Like you watch that scene and you're like, wait, there's more of this? And it levels up with every scene, which is absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's so good to hear, man.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a quick speed round through some fan questions, all right? So I want some quick answers. Your best memory living in Toronto, your one best memory.
Oh my God. Hanging out. I went to high school in the inner city, so just like hanging out at the corner of Lawrence Spadina. There's a pizza across the street. Second Cup, right beside the pizza. There's a G's Fine Foods Market on the other side of Huron, and just hanging out there with my friends.
Yeah. All right, your best memory on set.
Um, Goofing off with Aquafina.
Yeah, I can't imagine how, like, I don't even know how you act around someone like Aquafina all the time.
Oh, it's really easy. I mean, I think right from the get-go, we had this just beautiful chemistry, and it just worked. Just worked.
Yeah. You're in a hand-to-hand combat, who wins, Spider-Man or Shang-Chi?
If Shang-Chi I don't want to spoil anything, but if Shang-Chi has a little bit of help, if he has a little bit of, magical help, I say Shang-Chi. I say Shang-Chi. I
There,
think if he doesn't have that help, it's a little bit more of a fair fight.
well, if you dive deep enough in the comics, because I did my research on this, there's a version of Spider-Man who loses his Spidey senses, and Shang-Chi actually teaches him how to fight again. So I think we would know the answer to that question.
There you go. There you go.
And my last one for you is, who is your biggest inspiration?
My grandma. I unfortunately we lost her recently, but she just has this incredible story of how she persevered at a time where it was not normal for women to go into the workforce to get an education, and she really just refused to be told what to do, and she became a nurse, and then she became a doctor, and then she became the head pediatrician of a hospital in Harbin, China, where I was eventually born. And she's my inspiration, and I miss her every day.
Oh, well, I'm sure she'd be very proud of you. This movie is absolutely incredible, Simu. Apologize to your team behind the scenes. I know we ran a little over time, but personally, I just want to say, listen, you've been such an inspiration to me. I know you've been a champion advocate for, representation and how important that is on screen and other fields, and, bringing the light in the forefront to people that are not as lucky as others. So I want to thank you for that on behalf of myself and anyone that's watching. And I can't speak well enough about this movie, man. Like, I'm telling you, it is next level. If you haven't seen it yet, I saw it on Monday, and I kid you not, you probably won't believe it, but I'm seeing it again tonight, and I feel like I'm going to be watching it for the first time. So thanks for giving us this. This weekend is like a Canadian heritage moment between your movie dropping and you got the Drake album dropping tomorrow too. I mean,
And then you got the Drake album dropping. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
You're a
Listen
certified
to
lover
Certified
boy
Lover
now.
Boy in the morning, and then go to see Shang-Chi at night.
There you go. It doesn't get any better than that. Anyway, Simu, I hope our paths cross once again. I hope our paths cross at some point in person. All the best to you, and enjoy this weekend and embrace it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, fam.
No problem. Take care.